I want to take a moment to speak to those of you who are considering becoming a Jehovah's Witness. Maybe you have family or acquaintances or coworkers who are witnesses, or maybe a witness has shown up at your door or approached you in public to share their beliefs with you. You might be intrigued by their disposition. Jehovah's Witnesses always appear to be happy, friendly, well-mannered, and well-dressed. And the tragic events and news story headlines and current world conditions, especially in 2020, may have moved you to develop a closer relationship with God, and a witness may appear to have all the answers. Now, firstly, I do want to say I'm in no way looking to imply that a Jehovah's Witness who is preaching to you has malicious intent. I would actually say that they mean well, and they feel that what they're doing is for the greater good. But I think it's important that you understand what would eventually be expected of you as a longtime member. So first, let's briefly discuss two main reasons a witness is sharing their religion with you. First, Jehovah's Witnesses are taught by their leaders, also known as the governing body, that Armageddon is coming any day now, and anyone who has the opportunity to be a Jehovah's Witness but chooses not to will be destroyed when that day comes. So Jehovah's Witnesses believe they have little time left to convert as many as possible, and they often refer to their recruitment activity as a life-saving preaching work. Their leaders have convinced them that if they don't make every effort to convert as many as possible and they die as a result, Jehovah could hold them responsible for the deaths of others, and they would be blood guilty and destroyed also. The second reason a Jehovah's Witness is preaching to you is because they are required to report how many hours they spend preaching each month. That's right, talking to others about their beliefs is not something they do casually whenever they feel compelled. This is something they are obligated to do, and Jehovah's Witnesses are judged by how many hours they spend a month in the preaching activity. For example, someone who consistently spends a large portion of their time preaching will be considered exemplary and therefore spiritually strong. They'd be put on the pedestal and given more responsibilities in the congregation. Someone whose monthly hours are inconsistent or falling below the congregation average would be referred to as a low-hour publisher and viewed as someone spiritually weak and in need of encouragement. Someone who goes 6 months without spending any hours preaching would be deemed inactive, and others in the congregation would view this person as questionable association, and they would begin to limit their contact with them. Now that we know why Jehovah's Witnesses are preaching, let's talk about what life would look like if you actually were to join and become a baptized witness. Firstly, you'll be pressured to distance yourself from your family and friends because they are a part of the world, which they view as under the control of Satan. And you'll be told that your real friends and family are in the organization. Plus, you'll no longer be allowed to participate in activities that normally bring families together, such as birthdays or holidays. In fact, celebrating certain holidays could get you disfellowshipped, but more on that later. And let's go back to that preaching work we mentioned earlier. That will now be required of you, and it's not limited to a few hours of Saturday door knocking. As a Jehovah's Witness, you're expected to always be on the lookout for opportunities to preach to others, whether that be at school, at work, the grocery store line, a doctor's office waiting room, and so on. Although, because of COVID-19, field service has been limited to letter writing and phone calls for right now. In addition to preaching, your regular routine would include daily Bible reading, reading the daily text, personal study, family worship, a midweek meeting, and a Sunday meeting, which both require study beforehand. You may ask, with a schedule like that, when do you have time for hobbies, advancing your career, or furthering your education? Well, you don't. Jehovah's Witnesses strongly dissuade higher education and career climbing, and that's because they believe Armageddon will be coming any day now, so they see those things as a waste of time. Now, finally, let's talk about disfellowshipping. Disfellowshipping is a form of discipline that Jehovah's Witnesses use for those who commit what they consider to be serious sins, in which the quote-unquote wrongdoer is shunned by everyone in the congregation, family included. You can be disfellowshipped for a variety of reasons, including but not limited to premarital sex, smoking, gambling, getting a blood transfusion, celebrating Christmas, participating in other religious ceremonies, and so on. A detailed list of reasons why someone could be disfellowshipped is listed in the Elder's Handbook entitled Shepherd the Flock of God. But don't go around asking to read that book. That's for elders only. The average Jehovah's Witness is not even allowed to read the book that they're being judged with. So what if you were to change your mind and decide you no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness? Maybe you no longer believe that they are the one true religion on earth, and their teachings no longer resonate with you and you would like to formally leave. Well, you'll be shunned for that also. And you'll be labeled as an apostate, which Jehovah's Witnesses believe to be mentally diseased and children of Satan. So you'll be avoided like the plague, and all the friendships you made in the organization will be instantly cut off, no questions asked. So that's just an overview of what life is like as a Jehovah's Witness and what you could expect once you join. Again, this is not an attack at Jehovah's Witnesses on an individual level. In fact, they are very much victims themselves. They are part of a high control religion that operates on fear, obligation, and guilt. And if you would like more details about this religion, go ahead and check out my other videos on this channel. I will have part 1 of my Are Jehovah's Witnesses a Cult series linked down below. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you all in my next video.